Hi guys and ladies. I just want to put a video together how I wire track. So this is me soldering wire to the track. I've seen a lot of guys asking questions about it. I figured, why don't I just put a video together about how I do it. I'm not saying this is the only way. It is not. This is my way. And so I'll point out what I got for tools. I've got a drill. That's to drill the hole, which I've actually already drilled down through there right next to the hole, which I'm sure I can find. There it is. So that's all the way down through there. And I'm using a silver bearing solder, 2.2% flux core solder wire. It's SN62 PB36 AG2. Those are the chemical elements. This is a scraper. This is what cleans my rail. This is a cool wire tool. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. You put the wire in here, it grabs it and then strips it. You can strip it midline on the wire or at the ends. These are really, really great tools. It doesn't have to be this brand. They're all pretty good. So there's that. And then I have my Hacko soldering iron. I've done this for ages with generic old soldering irons that you just plug in, they get really hot. That is fine. They work. I just have been doing this for so long that I got a higher end soldering iron. It's really nice, and it comes with a little stand and cleaning. You can even put water in the sponge to help clean up your tip. Okay, so that's the tools that we need. So we've drilled our hole. So all I'm going to do is take my little scrapey tool here, and this extends if you start to run out of material. But I think I'm on the same scrapey thing I had from day one. It does not wear out fast with what we're doing here. So that's nice and clean. Now I insert the wire usually from the top if I can. I've got cork on 1/2 inch foam on 3/4 ply here. And I usually can feed this down through that hole. Might be having a problem today. Might have to come up from below. There we go. Now we're down. And then what I'm doing right now is reaching underneath my platform and pulling that through. And now I will use my stripper, wire stripper, put that wire in there. And we're probably doing about, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch, something like that. Next thing I do is I twist it up a little. And then I put a bend in it. Sometimes I use pliers, but I can get away with it with fingers usually. So it's kind of got a hook. And then I bend it this way. So it's actually bent in 3 dimensions. Not just this way, but also a little, so it's leaning in. It's hard to see it, but it's got a little bit of a rotational curve going that direction. So why do I do that? That's so I can pull this wire down like this. And now I can position it inside that webbing like that. So now that wire's sitting there, it is touching the rail right here. And if you hear me heavy breathing, I'm sorry, I'm a little sick. And I have COPD. Thank you, Army. So apologies if that's coming across the microphone. So what I just did here is I hooked the soldering iron and I just touched some solder to it. So now the tip is wet with solder. You can almost drip it off of here. It's so wet. And then I have my little tip of solder. Here's a little wire solder. I mean, I'm not even going to use these 2 inches, I don't think. I'm going to touch the wet to the wire and the webbing of the rail at the same time. Hold it there for a couple seconds and then feed this wire in. And that'll be it. So touch, hold, 1, 2, 3, feed. Kind of smear it a little bit sideways. And we're done. And that's a wire connection. That's how I do it. But sure, there's some guys go under the rail. I don't particularly care for that because it's really hard to manage service it if something goes wrong. And I can change my wiring like this. My layout here, I'll show you. This is my whole layout. And what I was doing was adding, I wanted to be able to turn these blocks off. These are the terminal strip, they just end. So I was like, well, I want to be able to shut off an engine that's sitting in there so I don't have my DCC sounds coming through on every engine that's on my layout, because it's pretty extensive with a lot of equipment. We did a little snow scene up there. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. There's a little snow over here too. It'll all come off here pretty soon. It's December 24th. Merry Christmas. All right, guys, but that's how I do my soldering. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get some benefit from seeing that.